Grand Rising, or sorry, good evening. It's not morning, it's nighttime. Good evening, good evening. We're just getting started here, getting our candle lit. I got some music playing in the background. If it's too loud, just let me know. We're going to light us some Palo Santo with the flame of the candle. I hope everybody's had a good day so far. It's coming to an end in my area. It's already dark outside. It started snowing about 5 o'clock. I don't know if it's still snowing or not. I haven't looked out there. I'm just hibernating inside. I know a lot of people have already got hit pretty hard with this storm that's sweeping the nation. You know, it's the topic of conversation everywhere we go. The weather always makes a good distraction. The important question to ask yourself is, what are they distracting us from? 122 on the timer as I looked. It's been a while since we've done a video where you can see me, where I'm facing the camera. Hoping to get to chit chat a little bit tonight. I got some poly going. Try not to catch my sleeve on fire. All right, well, because it's a late night video, we are not going to do the mantras. We may do an affirmation or two, but we're going to try to stick to the bigger decks tonight. Not that size matters, because it doesn't. All right. I want to show off my new deck that I got. It's actually for this channel. It's for the other channel that I'm going to try to start revamping here soon. But I figure I'll at least give it its debut here, right? Okay. It's called A Yogic Path by Sahara Rose. It's a beautiful deck, very well made. The box is such good quality. I mean, you just can't go wrong. But like I said, I actually got this for the other channel, but I wanted to debut it here because I only opened it up and looked at it for a few minutes when I first got it. But it's very well made. Again, I got it on Amazon. The cards have a beautiful pattern on them. They really are pretty. And I will admit, most of these I do not know how to pronounce. So I really have to. I have a book that talks about this stuff from when I did my yoga teacher certification. But it's been so long. Pranayama, that's a very common one. But nonetheless, we're just going to pull one from it to see what we get. Here's hoping that it's one that I know how to pronounce. And then we'll get into the rest of them, okay? Did I show you the book? I don't think I showed you the book. The book is very well made also. Very, very good quality all the way around. Okay. Today is, what is today? Sunday, January 25th. I've been working a lot of extra hours here lately. My days are starting to run together. For those of you that have already gotten hit by the storm, I hope you're, maintaining that you're comfortable, that to to the point where you can enjoy your hibernation instead of stressing and worrying about it. Try to make good use of the downtime. You know, I know it stresses people out for all kinds of different reasons, but try not to let it, you know, steal the joy of the moment. Wow. It literally flew through the cover and off the edge of the table. Wow. Yamas. Yamas. Hello there. I hope you're having a good evening. We also had another chunk fall out, but that's way too many. Thank you, Spirit, for giving me one that I could pronounce. It's not necessarily something that I'm proud of, but pronunciation isn't necessarily my strong suit. Okay, Yamas. It's actually the last card of the deck. Page 63. Ooh, and I opened it to page 111. Nice. All right, 63. 8 stages of yoga. Universal morality. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Your kindness, compassion, and generosity beam to all around you. The compassion you display to all living things does not go unnoticed. Only honesty flows from your lips. You speak words steeped in truth. You display honor in your non-stealing. Because of your deep sense of control, you focus on what truly matters and have let go of excess belongings or non-possessiveness. Continue shedding all that doesn't serve you as you bloom or blossom closer to your highest self. We literally talked about that last time we were here. We talk about it all the time. Letting go of people, places, things that no longer serve you. Whether that's material things, whether that's mindsets, habits, people, groups, environments. I mean, there's all things, you know, that can be a negative. Sometimes in the beginning, we think it's a positive, and then the more we learn about it, we realize it's not really that good for us. And that can apply to so many different things. And we talk about kindness and compassion here all the time as well. You know, being kind, being compassionate, being grateful, being able to see things from other people's perspective. That helps with so many different things in life. You know, if nothing else, it can help you grow and heal. And I mean, ultimately, we all want to accomplish that, right? All right, so that's the new deck, a yogic path. A very beautiful deck, might I add. All right, so put that up. And I mean, the box in itself is beautiful. Very well made. All right, so that's something that we're going to start experimenting with on the other channel, my yoga channel. Hopefully, I will be able to get back into the routine of participating with that channel too. I've really been focusing on this one a lot, and I've kind of let that one go. And so I really want to get back into, you know, sharing the stuff in that department that I've learned as well. The holistic medicine, the benefits of body therapy, because really that's what yoga is. And I mean, there's all kinds of forms of it, Pilates and, you know, sauna treatments and stuff like that. But taking care of the physical aspect of our body as well as the spiritual aspect, right? I just split it up into two. But I mean, we talk about it a lot here too. So that's where I'm at in my life. That's what I'm learning about. And I like to be able to share that with others. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's get a Namaste card from the Stress Less deck. And then we'll get us some angel numbers. And then we'll just kind of wing it. I want to pull from the other new deck as well. So we'll do that. The best thing about baking. That's an interesting question. I don't do a lot of baking anymore, but I used to. But one of the many benefits of baking is you control what ingredients go into your food. I know that was a question I was supposed to post for the chat. It was a suggestion thing, but I'm not going to do that because there's not anybody in the chat. So that being said, all right. Relax your face. Oh. Gently relax your eyes. In doing so, feel how the rest of your face wants to follow in turn. Let your forehead drop as your jaw and ears float on your head. Now let your tongue sleep in your mouth. Stress can tighten your face and cause your head to feel tired. Relaxing your face can help you feel less stressed. So, love your face. Take care of your face. Relax your face. I notice I catch myself a lot like doing this. And it creates all those wrinkles and stuff. And it almost makes me look like I'm scowling. But, you know, so try to relax your face. Love your face. Love the face that you're in. All right, now we'll get us some angel numbers. Last time we got reflect, commitment, and personal power. 000, 606, and 345. All right. It feels weird being back at in this view again. I'm so used to like just doing my thing and not looking up, so it's weird since I haven't done it in so long. All right. Angel numbers. Look at that one flipped over already. What was that? 44, 42 signs. Messages, guidance, intuition, awareness, and abundance. That one flipped over, but it didn't flip out. We want them to actually flip out. This is actually Digital Empire playing in the background. I don't know if you guys can really hear it or not, but all right, we got, look at that. It came right back out. Okay. And then, okay, so we got signs, 44, 42, and then gratitude, 85, 85. We got one, focus on self first on the bottom of the deck. And we got 66, don't worry, at the top of the deck. What did I say at the very beginning of the video? Don't worry. Don't stress. Enjoy your downtime. Enjoy your hibernation. Those are all my fave. What's your fave? Oh, your fave numbers. Sorry, I didn't see the drop down. Man, I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers here lately. Mostly 1010, 1144, and 1221 is what I've been seeing a lot of. The 44, 42. 4 is a good number. 4 is actually my lucky number. The number guy says that the way you find your lucky number is like your month and the last day of your year, I think is what he said. Anyways, I don't want to tell you wrong. All right. 44, 42, signs, messages, guidance, intuition, awareness, and abundance. Stay alert for signs and messages around you. By tuning in to divine energies, you will be guided toward manifesting abundance and prosperity. What signs or messages have I been receiving lately? How can I stay more attuned to divine guidance in my daily life? You know, we talk about that a lot. Seeing the signs. If you're not open and aware and paying attention to the signs, you're going to miss them, you know? Keep a journal to note any reoccurring signs or messages you encounter. Trust your intuition and let it guide your decisions, knowing that divine energies are supporting you. All right, and then 8585, gratitude. I literally talked about that at the beginning of the video. Patience, gratitude, abundance, perspective, success, appreciation, and ripple effect. You hear the sirens in that music? Focusing on gratitude shifts our perspective from what we lack to what we have and can achieve. This positive mindset attracts more positivity into our lives, creating a ripple effect of abundance and success. What am I grateful for today, and how can focusing on these aspects enhance my overall sense of abundance and success? Take a moment each day to list 3 things you are grateful for. Reflect on how these positive aspects impact your life and how they can inspire further abundance and success. Or how can they inspire other people, to practice gratitude, to practice kindness and compassion, going back to the yogic deck. And practicing gratitude helps you and allows you to be more kind to others. It opens you up to that compassion that so many need, including ourselves. All right, now let's pull from the other new deck, Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck by Amanda Lovelace. I actually have another deck coming too for the other channel. It's a meditation deck. So I'm not exactly sure when it'll be here because I didn't order it from Amazon. I ordered it from somewhere else. And so I think it's going to take a little bit longer for it to get here. But nonetheless, it is on its way. All right, one more. Believe in your own magic. Believe in yourself. We talk about that a lot. I like you. Very humble. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Life has humbled me many times. Maybe that's why it's so easy for me to show compassion and kindness to others. Because I've been in those positions where, I just needed somebody to be nice to me. And, unfortunately, a lot in my life, I didn't get that. And so it makes me want to be able to offer that for others. This is always a judgment-free zone. If there's anything that you ever need to talk about, if you just need a listening ear or even, advice or, understanding, I try to be that for people in whatever way possible. A little bit of kindness goes a long way. Even if it's just smiling at somebody, that's having a bad day, it really can turn their whole life around. Okay, well, we may not be getting one of these today. Let me try shuffling them 3 more times. Although I will say there was a time in my life when I wasn't always like that. I carried around a lot of anger and bitterness. And unfortunately, there were times when I took that out on people that didn't deserve it. But we all have to learn. It's part of growing up. It's part of this journey. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're all here to learn different lessons. That's the whole point. All right, we have number 27, Witch. Justice is coming. She's looking in her closet. Is that a baseball bat? No, yes. She's got a baseball bat in her closet and a sword in her closet. Justice is always associated with Libra energy, the scales. And then we have number 40, morning. The world awaits you. Oh, wow. It's like her. Wow. There's so many different meanings in this imagery right here. I'm pretty sure this is the mermaid girl. And so her house is underwater. See the fish outside her window right there? And you can see her seashell crown on her head. This is the mermaid girl. SpongeBob energy. Notice she has a fish on her little jewelry box right here. Fish represents Pisces. Water is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see. There's 3 fish outside her window and then 1 on her box there. So that makes 4 fish, lining up with the 4 that we got in the angel numbers. Pisces, there you go. Man, I'm telling you, I can't make stuff up. That I don't try to, don't need to. It still amazes me, some of the way the cards come out. It really does. I keep saying that, they'll never cease to amaze me because I say it a lot, really. All right. 27. 27 breaks down to a 9. All right. They say whatever we do comes back to us the same times 3. If a person's intentions are well-meaning, then that good energy will come back to them in buckets. If a person's intentions are to do harm, then you get the picture here. Either way, the universe is getting ready to deliver its justice. This person might be you. If so, you should handle it with grace and learn from your mistakes. Otherwise, this most likely applies to someone who's caused harm to you or your loved ones. What was I literally talking about when I was shuffling these cards? I was talking about how I have been humbled and how I have learned, and wow. So either justice as far as you are going to receive justice, or somebody else is going to receive justice and that's going to end up hitting you. It's vice versa. All right, and then we got number 40. I have soot on my fingers from where I messed with that Palo Santo. I hope it doesn't leave fingerprints in this book. The world awaits you. It was weird. I saw my phone and you popped up. Well, I'm glad you're here. Maybe something in here will help you or encourage you in some way. That is my ultimate goal. All right, the world awaits you. You've been alive. Sure, you've been waking up, doing what you need to get through your day, going back to sleep, repeat. Have you been living, though? Truly living? I think you need to hear this now more than ever. Your life is incredibly precious. Out there, the world awaits you. Now is the time to make good moments and learn to treasure them as they come. What was I saying? Ooh, I just got goosebumps. Woo! What was I saying at the beginning of the video when I was talking about the storm? Make the most of this difficult situation. Dude, I'm literally covered in goosebumps right now. It's been a long time since that's happened. No matter what it is, even if it's something completely just like horrible, and you feel like your world has just come crashing down and you just don't think it's ever going to get any better. I've been there. And that's a very difficult place to be. And when we are in those moments, it's so important to remember everything we've already come through. I think this was meant to happen. Yeah. Man, the universe works in crazy ways. I don't get a lot of views, but the people that do come find my channel, obviously it's usually by accident, they always get some kind of benefit from it. And it, thankfully so far, I've received confirmation of that. Oh, I love you too. Blessings to you. Thank you. We all need a little bit of extra love in our life, Look at that. We had mirror on the bottom of the deck. Treat your body like the palace it is. Yes, most definitely. And then raindrops on the top of the deck. Take a chance on them. But look at it. This is two girls maybe being friends. There's fairies in the picture. See how there's two girls and each one's got a fairy beside them? Reminding us of the importance of having friends during the storm. We all go through storms in our life. And if we just have a few strong, good friendships, that can get us through. And, sometimes that can even be our children. Sometimes the love that we have for our children is what motivates us to keep going. Of course, not everybody has that, but that can be one of those relationships that helps. Okay. We will put where will we put these? Right here. I hate it. See, there's like pros and cons to this. Like, I like doing it at this angle because I can see the chat and talk to you guys. But I want you guys to be able to see the cards even after I've pulled them. That's why I like doing it the other way so that you can see them. But, pros and cons. We're just switching it up a little bit, I don't know. Maybe I just got tired of looking at my own face for a while. I don't know. 27, 24 when I looked at the timer. That breaks down to a 96, which breaks down to a 15, which breaks down to a 6, which can be divided by 3. All right. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know. Let's do Angels of Abundance. And this music that's playing in the background, this is like legit an old school CD. I decided to pull out my CD case today. Yeah. First I picked Matchbox 20, but I think there's something goofy on the CD. Like it's scratched or I don't know. It played, but it had like a bunch of static in the background, almost like it was playing on the radio. So I opted for Digital Empire, which is no words. It's just techno. I went through a techno phase very young in life. I think I was like 14 or 15. I was nowhere near old enough to be raving. I've never been to a rave, actually, but I do enjoy techno music. All right, Angels of Abundance. Oh, I didn't look and see what we got last time. My bad. Deservingness. Look at there. We deserve happiness. We deserve comfortability. We deserve to be our authentic self and not have to worry about people judging us for that. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, we really learn that until we get so much older. And then it's like, man, if I had this back then, I would have been fire to reckon with. You know what I mean? All right. We got declutter on the bottom of the deck. We already talked about that. Getting rid of people, places, and things that no longer serve us. And then organize for success. If that doesn't go perfectly with declutter, I don't know what does. Get organized. Organize your thoughts. Organize your home. Whatever it is. That would be a good positive way to make use of this winter hibernation is doing some cleaning. Everybody always talks about spring cleaning, but winter cleaning is important too. I think we would get along so well. Oh, thank you. I try to get along with everybody, but that also being said, I've been in customer service for most of my life, so I do real well with most anybody on short interactions, but My authenticity intimidates a lot of people and even upsets some people. So, it's not always long lived, but I make the most of it while I've got it. You just make me, oh, I'm glad. Man, thank you so much. I'm glad I can make you smile. Sometimes we all just need a little bit of help to smile. Some days, some days are just more difficult. Life throws us some doozies, you know? And especially if you feel, I remember so many times in my life where I felt like, nobody can understand what I'm going through. Nobody can have gone through what I'm going through. And especially with the online community, I found so many people that when I would hear them tell their story, I'd be like, man, have you been watching my life? Like, how did you know that I've been through this exact same thing? You know what I mean? And sometimes just knowing that there's somebody out there that understands can take such a huge weight off your shoulders. And I mean, I've been on the other side of things where I needed somebody to, pull me out of a funk or, to remind me that I'm deserving. We all need to be reminded of that sometimes. We're our own worst critic for the most part. Now, I'm not saying all people are that way because there's some people that need a lot of work and they think they're perfectly fine. But, that's not necessarily, that's never the case. If they were perfectly fine, they would not be here. We all come to Earth. We are all put in this avatar to experience certain things. Whether that's emotions, whether that's just life lessons. Okay, sorry that I got off on kind of a tangent there. Deserving, I really did get soot all over my fingers. You are a beloved child of God, like everyone else, and you deserve to receive the support that will allow you to focus upon your divine life purpose. Even if you can't yet recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels can see how amazing you truly are. What were we just talking about? Not everybody loves everything about us. It took me a long time to be okay with that. And it wasn't that long ago that I had somebody tell me, when people meet me, it's either one or two things. They either love me or they hate me because I just rub them the wrong way. And back in the day when I was a people pleaser, that really used to bother me. Like, it really held me back and held me down because, first of all, most of the time I never could understand why they didn't like me. Like, well, then once I learned why, it got a lot easier to just let it go. People are so judgmental, and a lot of times that resentment or aggression that they have towards us is because we have something that they want, or because we speak the truth and they can't handle the truth. You know that movie, You Can't Handle the Truth? Is that, I think it's Tom Cruise that's Men of Honor. I think it's I don't know. But yeah. And then organize for success. Do not let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and or your finances will help you know and plan your next action steps. Remember, like a month ago, we had that energy. Well, I think it's actually been longer than a month ago because it was back before the new year and it was back before Christmas. But we kept getting that, like preparing for what's to come. And we kept talking about the hibernation energy and how, everybody's like, new year, new you. When in reality, this is not the time to take action. This is the time to declutter, to organize, to make a plan, to set goals, and maybe start taking those baby steps towards it, but really taking the time to focus on how you want it to go, where you want it to go, who you want to go with you, so on and so forth. All right, then declutter. You feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. So, once again, going back to what I was talking about with the storm, which I realize in my area, I'm in Tennessee, and compared to surrounding areas surrounding me, we didn't really get hit that hard. Ours is just, we're getting hit with the second round that's coming through. But, in those scenarios and situations, people get really stressed and overwhelmed. And I realize that, you're spending money on things that you don't know if you're going to need them or not. A lot of people are missing work, which means they're losing money. So it can be very stressful, but hopefully everybody prepared as best as they could. And if you did, you should be able to at least find some kind of peace and comfort and relaxation during the time that you're going to be stuck at home. Try to see the positive. Don't just get overwhelmed by the negative. Well, maybe you're here for a reason. Just hurt your arm yesterday? Oh, wow. Yeah, I can relate. It wasn't that long ago that I wrecked my electric bike and twisted my knee, and I was down for a week. But I mean, I realize the arm is a little bit more significant, but it sucks when you can't do the things that you either need to do or even just that you're used to being able to do. But, we'll say at least 50% of the cases, you can work around it. And like when I hurt my knee, before that happened, I went through kind of like a down spell where I was, down for a while. I was kind of lazy, kind of got in a funk. Well, then when that happened and I couldn't do anything, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to appreciate my legs more. Because for like 2.5 days, I did good to just get up and let my dogs out to go potty, so that can be difficult that's difficult for most people, when you're used to being able to do and then you can't do anymore. It really does suck. And I mean, you could even think of that on an emotional and spiritual aspect as well, not even just a physical aspect, but obviously, the physical is what we tend to notice more because it affects our lives more. All right, we're just going to go down the stacks. We'll just make this a full. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have to work tomorrow, so honestly, I'm kind of staying up a little bit later than I should, but, I'm being so daring by staying up past my bedtime. All right, let's get some forest spirit oracles. Last time we had tiger, mouse, and tree. Well, I hope your arm heals swiftly. I hope it's not a broken bone. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with my right elbow because I do a lot of repetitive motion at work and so repetitive, even though my muscle is strong, it's like that repetitive motion makes it want to tighten up. So I mean, not that in any way compares to your injury, but I can definitely relate. All right. Forest Spirit Oracle. That one tried to flip over. What was that? Boar Spirit. Warrior. Yeah. Boars have those big old tusks. It's a torn muscle or tendon. Ooh, I bet that hurts. I'm so sorry. Heat and ice, 15 minutes each, 15 minutes in between is great. If you have a big enough vessel to where you can fill it up with hot water and soak it in it, depending on, if it's your elbow or your shoulder, water therapy is very beneficial. Unicorn spirit, wishcraft. Another good thing too is I learned this from Barbara O'Neill. Consuming ginger, whether it be the powder or the fresh biceps, yeah. Consuming ginger will help with inflammation, and ginger is a warming herb, so it will warm you up from the inside out. But you can also, if you have fresh ginger, you can shred it, and they call that poultice, where, I mean, it's almost like a kid playing in the yard. You make just like a little, like a mud patty out of it, and either put it directly on your skin or put it in some cheesecloth or a paper towel, and put it on the area and just kind of cover it and leave it there, and that will act as a natural heating pad. So there you go. And also, consuming cayenne pepper helps with inflammation. And you can get crushed red pepper in like little capsules, and that will help as well. And castor oil has a lot of healing properties. That's not something that a lot of people have in their home. But if you don't have castor oil, if you have some good quality olive oil, I'll just drink a fifth. Well, hey, hey, that totally works too. But see, a lot of times when people do that, then, you get all loosey-goosey and you don't feel your pain. And then you end up causing more damage to the injured area. So just a little bit of advice, but by all means, you deal with your pain however you want. All right, wishcraft. Use your imagination as you wield your own magic and make your dreams come true. There you go. Beautiful unicorn energy. That makes me think of what I said the other day about how, everybody, that saying that, everybody has flaws. Well, they're not really flaws. Those traits about yourself is what makes you special. And wow, see how it goes full circle? Even those people that I have come in contact with over my life that, there was just something about me that they didn't like. 9 times out of 10, they still learn something from me, or, I'm still going to be kind to them, even though, they choose not to accept that kindness. But the whole point of me saying that was, just because somebody thinks one of your personality traits is a flaw, that it was 43:23 when I looked at the timer. That's their opinion. Just opinion isn't fact. And if you truly believe in a spiritual side of things, then you understand that all of our personality traits are meant to serve us, either to help us learn and grow or to be of service to other people. All right. We had Grasshopper Research Challenge on the bottom of the deck. Oh, Grasshopper. What movie is that from where he talks about the grasshopper? Anyways, be brave enough to take risks and try. To exercise your agile reaction, ability, and versatile skills. There you go. Don't let other people hold you back. Embrace those qualities, those skills. Learn, grow, research. All right, and then we got Squirrel Spirit, fast moves. Gather your resources to navigate different conditions and find creative solutions. Well, if that isn't appropriate for the storm of the century or the storm of the nation, whatever you want to call it, look, store up all your nuts for those bad seasons, right? Plant a tree. Yes. Oh, wow. That made me think of the hymnal song, just like a tree planted by the water, I shall not be moved. Yeah, stand your ground. You know, remember that you deserve. Oh, it's doing it again. That must be when a CD's skipping. Oh, nope, that's just the music. Okay. You know, this card specifically says even if you can't yet recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels can see how amazing you are. So just because you don't see them as good qualities, just because you may see it as a flaw or you've let other people convince you that it's a flaw, it's not. You just got to find your right people. People that are your people will love you just the way you are. They'll love you for your quirkiness. They'll love you for your difficultness. They'll love you through all of it while you learn and grow about yourself. All right. Let's do the nature seasons. Last time we got wisdom and summer. We've got anger, expression, and release on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. Yeah, let that shit out. Don't hold it in. Didn't I say at the beginning of the video or at some point in the conversation that I used to be an angry, bitter person? Because of the fact that I am a truth speaker and people don't always like to hear the truth. And then, you know, you get a negative reaction from them. Instead of me responding and releasing my anger and frustration, I held it all in for years. Not only did it contribute to illness, but it contributed to a complete and total burnout. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, I went fast. And it can happen very fast. So let that shit go. Let it out. Whether you gotta put it in a song, put it in a journal, you know, put it on a video. Man, I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore. But there was a time where I used to vent way too much for the world to see. But, ooh, dang, confirmation. Copper, you scared the shit out of me. Sorry for the S-bomb. I bet the cat's outside. I've got I don't think it's a stray. I think he belongs to somebody, but they just leave him outside. I don't know. But that's probably what Copper's barking at. Or the possum. I do have a possum that frequents my front porch because I leave food out for the cat. And if the cat doesn't eat it all, the possum comes behind the cat and eats it. So, yeah. Anyways, that scared me when he barked like that. All right, we got tree and hope. Wow, tree of hope. Where did we see? We had tree in the forest spirit from the last pull. So sweet. It's okay. Let me go check and see what he's barking at. Don't, you'll knock over my cord. Go. You're not supposed to be in here. Go on. Let's go see what it is. I know. Get down. I turn the light on so you can see. Just chill. You're all right. You're not going outside. No. Okay. It's got to be the possum because the kitty cat's out there. It's a little cold for the, for the kitty cat to be mobile. Okay. Faith and expectation is what it says on the hope card. Let me show that to you. Oh, yeah. Look at that picture. That's beautiful. Cotton candy sunrise. Hope is the lighthouse guiding your way forward. Today, hold on to your faith in the future. No matter what challenges you face, keep hope in your heart. What? Hope allows you to see the light in the darkest of times, encouraging you to move forward. Bam. There it is. I mean, we've touched on that several times already. Having faith, having hope, pushing through, healing, growing, learning. Rooted and vitality is what Tree says. Trees embody the process of growth through deep roots and steady expansion. Today, focus on laying the foundation for your personal growth. Strengthen your roots, nurture your strengths, and allow yourself to grow into your full potential. I literally got goosebumps when I read that. Remember what I said about having a few solid people in your life? And we talked about planting a tree. Yeah. A tree cannot thrive if it doesn't have good roots. I don't know what he's doing out there. Probably trying to attack the possum through the window. Anyways, the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. So the deeper you are rooted in yourself, the stronger you will be able to be when you go out in the world. You're my new root. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. We all need it. When I first started doing this, I started doing it for me because I needed to heal. I mean, in my personal opinion, the healing journey never ends. But at some point, we get to the point where we can start sharing with others and in turn helping others, which also helps us. It's the circle of life. We got it in our cards. The energy you put out, you call back to you with the kindness and the compassion. Finding those people that really want to be that, not only in their own lives, but in the people that they come in contact with. I come in contact with all kinds of people all day long. Never know who I'm going to meet. Never know what I may be able to offer them or what they may be able to offer me. I say it at the end of every video. And I'll say it today, but I say it at the end of every video. Be kind. Choose kindness. Confirmation. I don't know who the hell that is from Delta, Africa, but confirmation nonetheless. All right, let's pull some celestial insights. Last time we got hope, renewal, and sturdy. Look at that sturdy tree. I mean, these are from the last pull, but it's still relevant. We got openness moment on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. And I don't mean to make light of how difficult that can be. Finding those few strong roots is not necessarily easy. But, we have to start somewhere, and you got to start at the bottom to build a sturdy foundation, Although that being said, you can build a pretty strong house without having a foundation, but let's think about the Three Little Pigs. You had the house of straw, you had the house of sticks, and you had the house of bricks. Well, this world is the big bad wolf, and it's constantly trying to blow our house down. And the way I look at our body is our house. Our body is the church. Our body is our vessel. Our body is all of it. And this world tries to knock us down every time it gets an opportunity. So we have to establish those strong roots, at least in ourselves. Be careful not to, how is it? I hate to reference Tyler Perry at this point because I don't really like him as a person anymore, but there was a time when I watched him as Medea. And as Medea, he talked about people are like trees. You have some people that can be those strong roots that you really need. You have some people that are like branches. But you got to be careful from those branches because they'll trick you. They'll make you think that they're strong enough to hold your weight. And then as soon as you put all your weight on them, they snap. And then you have other people that are like leaves. They just come and go. They blow with the wind. You can't depend on them. You can't trust them. You can't count on them. So, that's where when we become strong and sturdy and stable in our internal foundation, we become strong in who we are and, the imprint that we want to leave behind. We don't depend on other people so much for it, because in reality, a lot of times it's the ones that you think you can trust and the ones that you think you can depend on that end up hurting you. Now, that's not always the case, but that's why you have to be very discerning and, just kind of like test the waters before you just dive right in, no matter what kind of relationship it is, or environment, or, even a way of thinking. Look at that. We got honor. Very much lining up with the deservingness from the Angels of Abundance deck. Respect for yourself and others is key to your growth. Have you felt a lack of respect in some areas of your life? By setting clear boundaries and honoring yourself, the world will follow suit. Bam! Bam! When you love yourself, when you're good to you, you're not going to accept breadcrumbs from others, right? Once we see our own deservingness, our own worth, we got emotion on the bottom of the deck. That anger energy again. Your emotions are guiding you through life's challenges. Have you been suppressing your feelings? What did I talk about when we saw that anger card? Let them flow naturally. Whether joy or sadness, your emotions are your strength. Being honest with yourself about how you feel. And even if you can't express those emotions to other people, at least be honest with yourself about it. Don't, like when you're sad, don't try to convince yourself that you're not sad, or don't try to like bury it, because it's always there. It's always going to be there. You cannot run from yourself. You are the only person that you can't get away from. And then we've got yes on the top of the deck. And you just said yes. I'm just saying. The answer to your question is yes. Have you been hesitant about a decision? The universe is giving you a clear sign to move forward. Trust this path. Wow. There you go. Honor, emotion, and yes. Yes. Honor your emotions. Yeah. So it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. I mean, that being said, it is okay to feel that way, but it's not okay to punish other people for the way you feel. And of course, it's okay to express how you feel to those people, but just make sure you do it in an honorable way. To the point to where, you don't have to come back with apologies later because, maybe you went a little overboard and said too much, right? I think we've all been there. I know I have. So, be honest, be honorable, be honest with yourself about how you feel, not just other people. You know, but there are a lot of people in this world that walk around with rose colored glasses on and they don't think that they have anything to, work on or deal with. And, unfortunately for those people, they'll be coming back again and trying to learn the same lessons. Love, 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 and love. Yeah. Speaking of love, let's go ahead and pull from the love deck. This is just a temporary deck. It came to me in a very unconventional, but spiritually as a sign kind of thing. So this is just a temporary deck. We're only pulling from this until Valentine's Day. I don't typically do a lot of love stuff here because, of course, that's not really where I'm at. I mean, as far as like relationship love. Now, love just in general, I love to love people and I love to receive that love in return. I don't know many people that don't. I mean, I'm sure there are angry, bitter people out there that actually, I know there are angry, bitter people out there that, wouldn't accept love if you dumped it over their head like a bucket of water. But, most people enjoy receiving love. All right, this is the Love Oracle. We'll just see what it says. Aw, thank you. Did that just come out? No, tried to though. This is coming to an end. It didn't really flip over. It just kind of like poked me a little bit. That's what she said. Okay. All right. No doubt you are the one and only I want to spend the rest of my time with. Big egos would lead this relationship to a darker place. Yeah. We shouldn't be... What? Shut up. Shut up. We shouldn't be influenced by the outside world. What was I just saying about like being your authentic self and, don't let the world make you think that there's something wrong with you or that you're not worthy. We are all worthy. The mindset of thinking that we're not worthy is what makes us not worthy. All right, let's see what else. No doubt you are the one and only I want to spend the rest of my time, the rest of my lifetime with. My bad. All right, what is that? Big egos would lead this relationship to a darker place. We shouldn't be influenced by the outside world. Won't let you know that I adore the smell of your hair and the whole you. There you go. Loving everything about yourself, including the smell of your hair. I don't know. I don't really often smell my hair, but, we all have a smell. We all have different pheromones. We all have different hormones. Our bodies produce a different smell. So, I can't smell my smell, but I can smell your smell. You can't smell your smell, but I can smell your smell. So, I don't know. It's making me think of the Herbal Essence shampoo. I love the way the classic Herbal Essence shampoo, the way that stuff smells. I like to smell good. Whether it's body spray, soap, which don't get me wrong, I realize that a lot of that stuff has a bunch of chemicals in it, and I'm slowly breaking myself away from stuff like that. Trying to find my way back to you. We're going to stop this. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's doing that static thing again. You could even reference that as trying to find your way back to yourself. A lot of us, especially if, you know, you were or are a people pleaser, we lose ourself in trying to please other people. And you know, for years I heard that and I was like, what a load of garbage, you know? But now that I'm on the other side of it, it is really pretty accurate. All right, from time to time we will have a happy ending if you and me both empathize and love for our true selves. Bam. What was I talking about? About empathy. We've already been talking about kindness and compassion, empathy for ourselves and for others. Being able to see things from others' perspective. Your energy heals me. I'm so confused about our relationship and occupied with cloudy thoughts. We're not over yet. There's still something between us on the bottom of the deck. What's on this cut? Can you at least listen to me? That kind of goes back to what we already talked about being able to speak openly and honestly, surrounding yourself with people that, you know, want to talk to you. All right, and then we got challenges are to overcome and bring us to a stronger bond. They're not supposed to break us apart. Wow. What was I talking about? The challenges, the things that we go through, they're meant to build us, not break us. Bam. When you hold my hands, the warmth keeps my insecurities away. Your spirit, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, the Most High, they're always holding your hand. If only there were a time machine to bring us back to those beautiful memories. Is what was on the top of the deck. I feel bad for letting you down. Yeah, don't let yourself down. You know, it's better to let somebody else down than to let yourself down. But unfortunately, most of the time, we have to go through it to learn it. That's why so many people go through what they call a midlife crisis. It's not a crisis. It's us learning who we really are. Because so many people spend their whole lives being what their family tells them to be, being what society tells them to be, being what their spouse tells them to be, that we truly detach and lose who we are. And about that midlife point is when we start really seeing the world for what it is, and we start giving all that love and energy and effort to ourselves instead of giving it to people that don't value it. Because a lot of us do that. So then we go through the process of walking away from all the people, places, and things that, you know, were trying to make us something we weren't. And it's a process, you know. Most of the time, the way it happens is everything falls apart. And it's like a snowball effect. So by the time you get down to the bottom of the hill, you got to take a breather. You have to heal. You have to recover from whatever trauma or impact those people have caused in your life. And then once you go through that healing process and you're like, okay, they're all just, you know, they've all got their own issues. I'm better. I'm just going to walk away and do me. That's when we truly begin to live. We truly begin to value and understand that we deserve to be us, to do what we want to do, to learn what we want to learn, to be around who we want to be around, you know? Sometimes there's people that come into our lives that think that they deserve a spot, like they don't have to earn it, like they should just get it. You know, and for a lot of us, we go through that phase of where we allow that to happen. Recovering from that can be difficult, but it can also be very educational and fulfilling. All right, let's get to the next stack. We'll do the Dream Oracle first. Unlock the secrets of your dreams. Although I will say I do have a lot more room on my table, not keeping all the cards out here so you guys can see them. If I had like a more technical setup, it would be awesome. Like if I could like have me and the cards on there at the same time, but I'm just not tech savvy like that. And honestly, I don't really want to invest that much time in it. I would rather just do this than spend a bunch of extra time doing techie stuff like that. But at the same time, it would be nice. I've been having lots of those lately. Dreams? That's a good thing. I very rarely dream. I wish I dreamed more, but we don't dream until we get into the REM stage of sleep. And because I have, well, I don't really know. I think there could be a spiritual reason for it as well. But that being said, several years ago, I got sent for a sleep study and was told that I have sleep apnea, which means it's 1:11:19 on the timer when I looked, which means I wake up a bunch in the middle of the night. I may not wake up fully conscious, but I stop breathing, and that causes me to wake up, which disrupts my sleep patterns, which makes me to where I don't get to spend a lot of time in REM sleep. It makes it very... They said that that's why I have a difficult time with energy, why I stay tired a lot. But I refuse to be hooked up to a machine to sleep. Although, you know, they did say that I would feel better and sleep better, but it is what it is. I don't want to sleep with a machine beside my head. If you've ever heard one of those sleep apnea machines, they are freaking loud, dude. I don't know. Technology may have improved on by this point, but I still don't want to be hooked up to a machine to sleep. I have a hard enough time sleeping and getting comfortable as it is. All right, I don't know. We may not get from the Dream Deck today. Come on. Eyes bent over as I was shuffling. Door stuck to the table on the bottom of the deck. I'm about ready for a snack. I was at work all day today. I didn't really eat very much. I tried some like frozen Tostito things or something, and they were actually pretty good. I was surprised at how good they were. I don't typically eat stuff like that. All right, we got flame, anxiety, and sadness. Wow, burn that shit, dude. Burn it. Who is it that sings that song, Burn It Down? I don't remember. We got happiness on the bottom of the deck. And sword on the top of the deck. Happiness represents a lightness of being, inner satisfaction, and energy release. Sword represents power, decisions, and resolving conflicts. Flame, I'll show you the picture first. That kind of resembles the anger card that we got earlier that had the fire. But didn't we see something else that had fire? Anyways, I don't know. Okay. The flame symbolizes both creation and destruction, representing transformation and cleansing. Dreaming of a flame indicates that an inner energy is awakening, possibly a surge. I'll be right back. Pause. Intermission. They don't usually bark like that, so when they do, it gets my attention. What? What? not going outside. It's snowing, Copper. He really is just a big baby. But I tell you what, he really is big. I was looking at him the other night and I was like, bro, like he's almost he's almost as big as I am. He really is. All right. Dreaming of a flame indicates an inner energy is awakening, possibly a surge of passion. The flame may also represent a spiritual purification process, burning away unnecessary emotions or beliefs. Fire is not just about destruction, it also signifies new life, the possibility of rebirth from brokenness. Phoenix energy, rising from the ashes, death and rebirth. Anxiety reflects unresolved fears and inner turbulence. Dreaming of anxiety signals emotional or mental issues disrupting your balance. It warns that excessive worry only causes confusion. What? While not entirely negative, anxiety urges you to confront your fears, find strength within, and seek tranquility. We've been talking about that through this whole video. Finding that inner peace, embracing the downtime. Don't worry, be happy now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't worry, be happy. Go on, get out of my room. Go. You're not going outside. No. Go. Go on. You're going to knock my table over. Go. Go. Don't make me shut the door. Go on. Such a brat. All right. Sadness. Sadness is an emotional cleansing process. If it appears in your dream, it signals that you are undergoing a healing phase. Sadness is not eternal. It is the key to unlocking soul wounds. This dream encourages you to accept and release past pain, giving yourself the time and space to heal so you can welcome renewed vitality. Yeah. That totally just brought everything full circle. Everything that we've talked about already. You know, accepting the way that you feel. Finding a safe space to release that so that we can start a new phase, a transformation, a death and a rebirth. All right. Now we will pull from the Unstoppable You Oracle. I really like this deck. This is one of the newer decks we've been using, and I've really enjoyed it so far. We got Let It Be Messy on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. Yeah, man, the 1111 I've been seeing a lot. The 1111, the 111, 1144, 1010, and 1221 are the numbers that I've been seeing a lot of here lately. All right, Unstoppable You. No one else is you. Look at that tree. Where is it that we saw the tree? Oh, that was the other deck. The forest deck from the last pull. But it also talked, yeah, we talked about it. All right. Yeah. And it is winter. Yes. Good observance there. Yeah. And I mean, we're only having the winter storm of the season right now, of the decade, whatever. I think they're over exaggerating it a little bit, but whatever. All right. This is worth it. It also came out. It did not fall on the floor and it did not flip over. It landed face down, but I at least want to acknowledge it. Look at him wearing his armor. The fight is worth it. Armor up. What did we talk about? About being strong, being stable in yourself, keeping your armor on. We talk about that a lot too. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Ashe. Please clothe us in your armor from head to toe, strengthen our discernment, and guide our steps as we go through each and every day. All right, and then on the bottom of the deck, we had Be the Storm. On the top of the deck, we had You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to be you. It doesn't matter if it's okay with other people. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe. Who cares if other people believe it? For so long, I was like, all this spiritual stuff when, I grew up in the church, it was a very conflict. And then it's like, you know what? I don't care what other people think anymore. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. Everybody has the freedom to believe what they want to believe. And that's what makes this experience so great. To us here in the moment, it seems like this experience lasts a lifetime, because it does, but our lifetime is a speck in comparison to everything else that our spirit is a part of, our soul is a part of. All right, let's read it. No one else is you. As if that needs an explanation. It's pretty self-explanatory. No one else is you. Page 87, which breaks down to a 15, which breaks down to 6. Didn't we get that earlier with something else? That it added up to 15? And is that the 85? We did that math earlier. All right. Let's see. Core message. Your uniqueness is your superpower. What? Haven't we been saying that this whole video? Your flaws are not flaws at all. It's just things that people and throughout our lives have convinced us are flaws. But who are they to judge? You were born in 87? Wow, okay. Wow, we're close to the same age. I was born in 84. All right, key themes. Authenticity, self-celebration, individuality, inner worth, creative expression, and soul purpose. You're a once and forever. Copper, please stop. You scare me every time you do that. And plus, my neighbors have a baby, so, I don't really know what time it is, but it is. No, go on. You're going to make me close my door, but I will. Go on. You're not going outside. I don't know what you're seeing out there, but you're not going. You're set. It is, look at that, 7:55. Quit. Go on. I'm closing my door. You're making me do it. Something about distractions, somebody or something wanting your attention. He never does this when I'm on. He's not that kind of dog. So there's something going on. Something about distractions or Maybe even somebody barking at you. Like literally, it was 7:55 when I looked at the clock. That's an angel number, 7:55. That breaks down to 17, which breaks down to an 8. Um, wow. I did have an experience like that today where somebody was literally yelling at me like they were barking at me. Stand your ground. Don't let anybody disrespect you like that. I don't care what it's for. Stand up for yourself, whether it's a customer, a family member, an authority figure. Nobody deserves to be disrespected. Nobody. I don't care what you've done or what has happened. Nobody well, let me let me rephrase that. Let me fine tune that fine print. If you don't deserve it, don't accept it. Period. All right. Message. You are a once and forever combination of soul, story, and stardust. No one else has your exact voice, your lens, your laugh, your light. And that is your power. This card is your invitation to stop trying to blend in and start standing out all the way. You weren't meant to copy, compete, or confirm. You were meant to radiate. The things you've been told are too difficult or not enough may be the very thing that makes you unforgettable. What? What? Embrace them. Lead with them. Celebrate them. You don't need to be more like anyone else. You just need to be more like you. Guidance. You may be feeling self-doubt, comparison, or pressure to fit the mold. This card is a reminder that your magic doesn't lie. I'm getting covered in goosebumps right now, y'all. Like, I don't know if you can see them on the camera. Probably not. But I'm literally covered in goosebumps right now. This card is a reminder that your magic doesn't lie in sameness. It lies in your edges, your quirks, your voice. When you show up as yourself fully and unapologetically, you give others permission to do the same. Your uniqueness isn't a weakness. It's your edge. And it's the reason the world needs what only you can bring. Journaling prompts. Where have I been trying to shrink, edit, or soften parts of myself to gain approval? Wow. What makes me different in a way I secretly or not so secretly love? How would I live, speak, or create if I trusted that my uniqueness was an asset? Self-celebration practice. Unapologetic list. Write a list of 10 things that make you you. From your passions to your personality, from the way you think to the way you dress. Let it be bold, weird, beautiful, but true. Then pick one item on the list and let it lead your actions today. Affirmation. I am not here to fit in. I'm here to stand out. My uniqueness is my greatest power. Action step. Show up boldly as yourself in one area of your life today. Wear what you love. Say what you mean. Share something real. Let the world meet the unfiltered version of you and watch how everything shifts. Well, I'm glad that I was able to provide you with something that you needed. Thank you. Confirmations are always nice. All right. Now we'll pull, actually, first we're going to take an intermission. I'm going to take something to drink, and I'm going to light my cigar for a few puffs. It was 1:30:22 when I looked at the timer. I did see, where did I see 222 the other day? I saw that somewhere. You know, angel numbers can come up in all kinds of weird places. And, okay, just a small little story while we're having our intermission. Where I work, I deal with a bunch of different vendors that, you know, come in to deliver their product for us to sell. Well, there's a specific vendor that it was 1:31:13 when I looked at the timer. That I've developed kind of a, you know, just like a casual acquaintanceship with, you know. Well, the other day when he dropped off his products, you know, we have to scan in everything that they deliver, so we have record of what we got. And our total number when we got done was 111 pieces. So, you know, that's, I said all that to say, you can see angel numbers anywhere. Anywhere. License tags. You know, your total or your change when you make a purchase. Account numbers. ID numbers. Page numbers. Angel numbers can come in all shapes and sizes, really. All right. Echoes of the Soul Oracle deck. This is the two-part deck, so it's a little different. But it has similar messages, so hopefully we'll get something positive out of it. Look at that. 13, the Veiled Watcher on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. I've been told by many I'm very intuitive. Well, you know, if you've been told that, then you probably are. And that's probably one of many qualities that you have. Most people that are really intuitive are also very sensitive to other people's energy. And that being said, usually life experiences will teach you whether you're intuitive or not. You know, intuition is like, it takes practice to understand that that's what it is, that that's what you're feeling. But once you go through so many different circumstances, like where your intuition tried to tell you something and you didn't listen and you went a different direction, and then you look back and you're like, damn, if I would have listened to my intuition, I wouldn't be in this mess. It was though that happening to me a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. That I finally realized it's like, you know, that little voice inside me might actually be right. Maybe I need to listen to it a little bit more. Yes, it can. Yeah. The more we learn to listen to our bodies, they tell us so much that if we're not listening, if we're not looking, if we're not paying attention, we're not going to see it, we're not going to hear it because we don't know what we're looking for. It's definitely something that takes awareness and it takes practice, for sure. All right. Echoes of the Soul Oracle. And you know, everything happens for a reason. First of all, this is the first face-to-face video I've done in quite some time. And if I wouldn't have done the face-to-face, I wouldn't have been able to see your comments. So, you know, everything happens for a reason. Number 7, the Glamorous Veil. Another 7. We got number 26, Ethereal Bloom. Wow, didn't we read something earlier about blossoming or blooming? Number 26. And then we got number 2, the leap of faith. Wow, how accurate. Where did we see, was it the nature seasons? Yeah. Hope, faith, and expectation. So confirmation on that. All right, let's read what we got. The glamorous veil. Number 7. Key themes: elegance, illusion, hidden truths. Can you see it? Yeah. Hidden truths, authenticity, self-awareness, breaking through facades. Shut up. Shut up. I can't make it up. Breaking through the facade, being your authentic self. What? All right. All that shimmers is not gold, and all that dazzles does not reveal the truth. The glamorous veil represents the layers of illusions we sometimes weave, whether to protect ourselves, impress others, or mask vulnerabilities. While there is power in presenting a polished image, there is equal power in daring to let the veil slip. Beneath the glamour lies raw, unfiltered reality. And in this authenticity, true connection and inner peace are found. Guidance. This card arrives as a gentle nudge to reflect on the balance between appearances and authenticity in your life. While there is beauty in elegance and effort, it's worth asking, what are you masking and why? Is the veil serving you, or is it keeping you from deeper truths? The glamorous veil suggests that true radiance comes not from the perfection others see, but from the courage to embrace and reveal your authentic self. Letting the world see the real you can lead to richer, more meaningful relationships, not just with others, but also with yourself. Affirmation: I release the need for perfection and embrace my authentic self. In my truth lies my greatest strength and beauty. Actionable insight. This week, take one small step. It's almost exactly the same message. I lost my spot, sorry. This week, take a small step to drop the veil in an area of your life. It could be expressing your true feelings to someone, admitting a vulnerability, or simply being more honest with yourself about what you want or need. Notice how this act of authenticity impacts your sense of peace and your interactions with others. Reflection. The glamorous veil reminds us that while beauty and elegance have their place, they can never replace the richness of authenticity. By peeling back the layers of illusion, you invite others to see and love you for who you truly are, not the image you project. And perhaps, even more importantly, you allow yourself to experience the freedom and power of living in alignment with your truth. What do you think? Are there areas of your life where you feel you're holding onto a veil? Or perhaps a time when dropping it brought unexpected beauty or connection? I just can't even add anything else to that. That's literally, in a nutshell, everything we've talked about here today. Very hard, but yeah, it can be done. Yeah. It is hard. But a lot of the reason why it's so hard is because we've been so programmed that it's not okay. We've been so programmed that we have to meet some kind of unrealistic expectation. Whether that's expectations of other people or expectations that we've put on ourselves because of what society projects at us is, the norm or what we're supposed to be, you know? Like, just because I dress goth one day doesn't mean that, I'm depressed and in a dark place. That might just be how I like to dress. That's just an example. I don't really dress like that, but I was just giving an example. But a lot of people struggle with that. It's like an inner battle between what the world wants you to be and who you truly are. And going back to what we said earlier, that's why it's so important to be so stable and rooted in who you are. And being able to do that is a process. It takes time, it takes effort. It's not fun, it's uncomfortable, it can be painful, it can be very taxing in a lot of ways. But in the end, it's worth it. For not only for your highest good, but for the highest good of the people that you will come in contact with throughout your life. Because you will be able to be more kind and more compassionate with others because you're able to get that to yourself. You cannot give something to somebody else that you don't have for yourself. If you don't have it, you can't give it away. And so that compassion and that love and that kindness and that forgiveness all has to start with us. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to be able to properly love somebody else? And vice versa, if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to accept the love that others have to offer because you're going to feel like you don't deserve it. And we all deserve it. We all deserve to be loved. Yes, we do. All right. We're getting close to the end here. We'll move to the bigger decks. We got 4. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I may pull from all of them. I may only pull from a couple of them. We'll just see. We'll start with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Last time we got Miracle, Instinct, and Despondence. We got Grief on the top of the deck, on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. Grief and joy can coexist. It's not necessarily easy, but it is possible. Just because we're grieving in one area of life doesn't mean we can't experience joy in another area. All right. Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Miracle. Impasse on the bottom of the deck. And Enlightenment on the top of the deck. All right. We got 2 yellow and an orange. Miracle. Sun Sparkler. The brightest... Here, I'll let you see the picture before. That looks like a Bigfoot. In the mirror, a Bigfoot. It's actually... You have to look really close, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but there's actually an image of a woman. I don't know if you can see her. Her feet, and then here's her body, and then there's her head and her arms coming up. The first card. Oh, the impasse? Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying now. Like a Sasquatch. Okay. I thought you meant like a Bigfoot. Okay. Miracle. Sun Sparkler. The brightest of all thoughts resides in sun yellow. as natural radiance stems from pure integrity. Be honest and forthright no matter what. Remember we were talking about being honest earlier? You want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Be honest and forthright no matter what. With the energy of the sun, a miracle awaits. You instinctively know what is authentic. Trust this. Weren't we just talking about our intuition and about trusting your instincts? And we did have instinct out here in the cards that we put back before we shuffled. So trusting your instincts, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. It's different ways of saying the same thing. Listen to your body. And I used to say it a lot. We don't really talk about it as much anymore, but learn your own energy so that when something comes in and disrupts it, you'll feel it. Really learning how to listen to our bodies. All right, enlightenment. Topaz. The opportunity to make an enlightened decision is inherent. A journey of true destiny is the vibrational energy here. Regal gold and earthly brown mix to create something spectacular. Your experience will guide others. What? Didn't we talk about that? Didn't we talk about the fact that once we go through what we go through and we start to learn and we start to heal and we start to grow, we share it with others, and that way we can help others grow. Topaz is a very strong stone at that. Yes, it is. All right, and then impasse. Reggie Rust. That's who you see in that picture, is Reggie Rust. What's done is done. This card can indicate the end of a great emotional upset. The power to change direction from the better is supported in Rust. Your angels appear to protect you in the long run. This is a detour, not a no, but in the here and now. Things will change. Go where you are led for now. So once again, talking about listening to your gut, go where you're led to go. That could mean a number of things. Just, a redirection in life as a whole. Your job, friends. That really could refer to anything. But listen to your gut. Listen to your instincts. Be in the present moment. It says be in the here and now. Things will change. Go where you are led. One of the Mary Magdalene cards talks about that. It'll be interesting to see if that comes out. Being cautious of the paths that you choose to follow. Be a leader, not a follower. Be a leader in your own life. All right. Now we'll pull from the Wandering Heart Oracle. Last time we got honor your word, follow your heart, and sacrifice. We've got certainty, number 29, which breaks down to an 11 on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. Seek clarity in your own life before you start trying to figure out other people. like, don't jump the gun, I guess is a better way to say it. I hope the Seahawks win. I don't keep up with sports. I don't know what team the Seahawks is. I do know a few teams, but it's only like from the states that I've lived in. Like I know the Packers and the Titans. And other than that, those are football teams. I don't really, I don't keep up with any kind of sports, but celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. We got Solitude. Celebration is number 14. You got number 6, Solitude. And number 39, Balance. Celebrate, Solitude, and Balance. Yeah. Celebrate those little wins, like as you're going through that death and rebirth energy, healing, growing, learning, evolving, whatever. Celebrate the little wins. Don't be afraid of solitude. You need a balance. Wow. Okay. You need balance between celebration and solitude. Finding the balance. Oh, wow. I don't know what just happened, but that kind of came up last time, like the balance between work and play. Also, like balancing out your emotions. Going into solitude to balance out your emotions. All right, 6, solitude. Live your life with ease. Revert inward for relief. Manifest and fantasy. The freedom of space is a privilege. Take your time exchanging moments with people who do not fill you. What? What was I saying earlier about your tribe and finding the right people? You might find it challenging to recharge your battery. A lot is expected of you. Thus, you wait until you're too fatigued and plagued to factor rest into your life's ritual. Idleness is key. Do not dismiss it. You will grasp the harm of overextending yourself if you do not make the appropriate arrangements to get low. Do so while you still have the energy to. Otherwise, you will end up ill. I talked about that at the beginning of the video. Talked about getting burnout and how I used to do that to the point to where it would literally make me sick. I literally talked about that at the beginning of the video. Or at some point during the video. I don't really remember when. But nonetheless, we're tapping into almost 2 hours here. So I don't really remember when I said it. But we talked about that. There are moments in life where being inactive will prove to be an obligation. You will have to step away in order to see vividly. Take this time to purge and make something beautiful of your insight. Face your demons head on. Dead everything that needs to be deaded. If everything should go, then go. Say farewell to the old and Godspeed. Wow. All right. 14, celebration. Celebrate your milestones, major and minor. Achievement and emotional fulfillment. These are the moments that last forever. Friends and family surround you with cheer. Lovers do the most to show their compassion. There may be cake and balloons, but mostly there is laughter and physical touch. You join hands. What? Didn't the love cards say something about holding hands? You join hands with one another to send prayers up. You share hugs to give thanks. You cherish the love you have for those around you and vice versa. It's been a long time coming. The time to rejoice is now. Share your story with those who are eager to listen. You have the wisdom to inspire. Uh-oh, there's my first yawn. I tried to fight it back, but it didn't work. All right, balance. You find a middle ground, you find stability, equilibrium, and selflessness. Find the sweet spot between relying on others and carrying the world on your back. What did I say earlier about like being able to ask people for help but not becoming dependent on people? Wow. All right. There certainly is a happy medium. You need to be able to discern what's too heavy for you to hold. Do not pretend you are okay when you feel overwhelmed. When you overwork yourself, you turn jittery, uneasy, and disordered. Avoid this energy at all costs. In no way is it conducive to your ascension. Be truthful with others when they seek it. If you've had enough, you've had enough. Condolences unnecessary. Didn't I say do it unapologetically? Stability is the portal. Let the force revive you. The downtime you experience will pave the way for metamorphosis. Substance is the focal point. Call it in. If you don't acknowledge your strength and grant yourself the room to renew, you will find yourself burn out. That is crazy. I cannot believe those cards. They never cease to amaze me. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to pull from the Archangel of Fire Oracle, and then we're going to pull from Mary Magdalene, and then we'll be done. Because I'm starting to get tired. It really is like it. I made a joke about it being past my bedtime when I first started the video, but it's definitely past my bedtime now. When you got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you got to go to bed early, you know? But I don't think that's going to happen in the morning. I think this weather's pretty much going to shut us down tonight. We got a little bit of snow and stuff yesterday, and then it kind of tapered off because we were in that warm bubble that was in the middle of the storm. But then today it literally rained all day. And in the beginning part of the day, it actually rained a lot. But now it's going to freeze. The temperature is going to get so cold tonight that all the rain that we got is going to freeze. And tomorrow, the high is only 25. So it's not going to melt. That has touched on so many aspects of my life. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, for real. A lot of times I don't do it all the time, but a lot of times I'll go back and re-watch my videos or listen to them because I talk about so much and there's so much going on, and I try to stay focused, on just this, that there's a lot of things that I don't catch until I re-listen to it. But it amazes me more often than not of how everything just comes full circle. A lot of the cards line up, and it helps me have faith and hope that I'm doing this for a higher purpose, not just for me. All right, Now let's get an Archangel of Fire Oracle. Gagiel 16 wanted to show herself. We just put her back in there. I'm sorry, I forgot to read what the last ones were before I put them back in the deck, but she was one of them. 16 breaks down to another 7. Now, there's a Sasquatch for you. There's you, Bigfoot. He really does look like one. This is a Nutchiel, number 3. He's an Archangel. Let's see. Maybe you can see it better that way. You know, it's crazy that the lights are behind me, but it's still it's like it reflects the glare off the phone. And then we got, oh wow, Fuel, number 19, the Mermaid. We look. Mermaid. So, water, fish, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Water also represents emotions. And we've talked a lot here today about not only being honest with yourself about your emotions, but being able to express those emotions honestly with compassion and kindness. Wow. All right. Let's see what we got. A Nutchiel is number 3. The Way Shower. His message. What? There is no one like you in all the world. You have a unique purpose. Believe in yourself and have confidence. Life is one big adventure. All right, and then Fuel, cleansing. Wow. We got the declutter. We got the organize for success. Decluttering, that's cleansing. We also got the letting go of people, places, things, mindsets, emotions, cleansing. Allow yourself to be cleansed of all that is no longer serving you in preparation for growth and renewal. If you are contemplating a detox or lifestyle change, this card is validation. You are on the right path. How many cards has talked about that? The transformation energy, the death and rebirth, the walking away, all of it. Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. So many confirmations out here today. I'm going to skip the mini decks just because I'm starting to get tired and we're already at over 2 hours here. So we're going to skip the mini decks. We're going to jump right into the Mary Magdalene and we'll be done. Last time from Mary Magdalene, we got the true human. I am fully human and fully divine. Remembering that we are all spiritual beings here to have a human experience. We got Mary Magdalene herself on the bottom of the deck. Love only ever expands. All right. Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? Wow. All right, hold on. That I'm not really sure where that went. The red thread. Good recognizes good. The red thread, and I don't even have this card numbered, so I'm gonna have to find it. This deck did not come with numbered cards. And so as I use it, when I get a card, I write the number on the back of the card because so I don't have to search so much for it. There it is. The red thread. Good recognizes good. It's hard to remember when we have what we have never been taught. It takes trusting our own intuition, our own heart. It takes learning how to listen to what the soul whispers to us when we get still enough, free enough from the distracting chaos of our everyday life. It's a mystery to me what allows us to remember the good, and I trust it always will be. Maybe it's blood memory. Maybe it's encoded somewhere in the soul or in the heart of what it means to be human. Good recognizes good. The red thread is about remembering the good within ourselves and each other. And the red thread is about recognizing those who are walking with us to remind us that we are here together to be the good. It's worn on the left wrist, the feminine side of the body, to acknowledge that it's the feminine within each of us that receives spirit from within. The red thread is for those of us who are devoted to returning again and again to the heart, who listen to what the heart knows and then do whatever we can to put that knowing into action. Mary Magdalene anointed Christ before he was crucified. Mary made anointing the most sacred ritual in the Christian tradition. Mary was given secret teachings from Christ because his love for her was extraordinary. Mary's gospel was buried and forgotten for millennia. This is why I wear the red thread. It's hard to remember something you have never been taught. But I do this in memory of her. I do this because the good can never be lost. The Soul Voice Meditation. What do I know in this moment that no one ever taught me? That being said, you can take the dogs raising Cain as a confirmation if you want, because they were completely quiet until I started reading that card. Darling, that's enough! Yeah, she's a full-blooded beagle. When she barks, she don't stop. Oh, and I didn't even look and see what page that was on. Crap. I just started reading. Page 85, which breaks down to a 13, which breaks down to a 4. So more 4 energy. Let me go back to this very first paragraph. It's hard to remember what we have never been taught. It takes trusting our own intuition, our own heart. It takes learning how to listen what the soul whispers to us when we can get still enough, free enough from the distracting chaos of our everyday life. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your body. Develop a stronger intuition. I can't even add anything to that. Like, I'm still kind of baffled at how it came full circle. So, I'm very thankful for you being here with me this evening. I hope that something that you've heard has inspired you, has taught you something, has helped you heal in some way, or has just encouraged you to take those steps in your life, whether it's physical healing, spiritual healing, emotional healing. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And as my mom always used to say, the best thing to do is usually the hardest thing to do. That being said, if you see a need today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.